Fashion icon extraordinaire David Tlale is a brand like no other. He has received numerous awards internationally, and a David Tlale original stands out in any room. Rightfully so. During these last 18 months of the pandemic, the brand has managed to grow in leaps and bounds. I received a warm welcome being adorned in a fabulous garment. It's been a difficult time for most, so how have you managed to stay afloat?
The pandemic has just taught us quite a lot. First of all, it was a good time to reflect, to reset, and to regroup as a business. And as we have, when we got into the first part of the pandemic, when we thought 21 days we'll be out of it, I don't know who were we fooling. We just thought, okay, fine, this life will change. But it forced us as a business to change as the House of David Tlale. First of all, migrating from the virtual showcase that we did as the pandemic was hitting the world, and we just now we have this collection that we've showcased to the world. Who is going to buy it? Where are they going to wear these clothes and everything else? And I believe the Classica Icon collection was one of my favorite collections that I did, and sadly I couldn't even showcase it anywhere in the world. But here we are. Fast forward, we are back in the world. We are back in business. I think it was last year, July, when we were contemplating, because now business was slowly going down. There were no sales. We're ending up making masks, trying to survive with masks, and it was not making financial sense. And we had to make a decision as a brand whether we are closing down or we are going to take a leap of faith. And that really took a major journey for us spiritually, and also just literally trusting God to say, what are we going to do now? We're going to have to open stores. And where we are today is actually a testimony of saying, this was our first flagship store that we actually opened during the pandemic. Opening up multiple stores for us is for accessibility. But the good part is we don't do mass production. The jacket or the gilet that you're wearing, we only make 6 of them, and we distribute them amongst the stores. When it's sold out, it's sold out. We still keep the product to be high-end and also limited editions. There's no way that we're going to manufacture 500 of those. When it's sold out, and we have to move on to the next level. My personal highlights, I always go back to in 1993. I'm old, by the way. In 1993, when I was sitting in that auditing class, and I was like, I'm out of this game of auditing. I'm going to be a fashion designer. Winning the Elle New Talent in 2003 was my first step into the fashion industry. When I won the Elle New Talent at South African Fashion Week, it was like, okay, now there's a brand called David Tlale. 2005, I got headhunted by House of Monatic, and I became creative director for Kaduchi Woman for a good, beautiful 2.5 years. That was a beautiful journey for me because it introduced me to production, planning, production and tailoring and all these skills. I learned quite a lot. It was a beautiful journey for me. Started traveling the world. Shortly after that, I joined African Fashion International. I showcased for the first time solo collection, over 30 models just for David Tlale. It was phenomenal for me. And shortly after that, became one of the 4 designers from African Fashion International to be selected to go showcase during Paris Fashion Week in 2007. 2009, how much time to have for this interview? Up and up, New York Fashion Week comes in. I think the biggest highlight for me was the showcase at Nelson Mandela Bridge in 2011, when we celebrated 92 years of Nelson Mandela, and we had 92 models on the runway. It was such a beautiful moment for me.
The intern by David Tlale has been a major success, launching many aspiring designers into the fashion scene. These days, David is teaching the new interns the business side of fashion. Now, let's talk our fashion. What are the trends this season?
This summer, we are we're having a beautiful collaboration with an artist called Mandla, and the print that you are wearing, he actually designed with our in-house art director, Sir Abner. And the journey is like literally, first of all, celebrating iconic faces like Miriam Makeba, Winnie Mandela, Tsietsi, David Tlale. And so we just like fusing our journey on how far we've come as a brand and also as a nation, as a continent, but also fusing that into our prints and also coming up with beautiful, the Tlale monogram, where everybody is now brand conscious. People must see that I'm wearing David Tlale, so it's gotta have David Tlale outside. And but we're going very bright, lots of oranges, lots of white, a bit of tan, but lots of gold that brings luxury and royalty into, One thing that I've learned in the past few weeks when I was traveling, one iconic man from Rwanda, they used to ask him, where are you from? He wouldn't say, I'm from Rwanda. He says, I'm from Africa. I am an African. So that's a story that we are telling right now, to say beautiful products that are crafted and made in Africa, proudly made in Africa. And we want people to adorn and make themselves look beautiful. I mean, like you, hey, with products that are beautifully and proudly made in South Africa. So it's very important that we become very patriotic. So many beautiful things have happened in the business, and all I say is I give gratitude and thanks to God for orchestrating and directing my path. In 2 years' time, or in 18 months, the brand David Tlale will be 20 years old.
Onwards and upwards. We wish you nothing but the best. And that's how we wrap it up. Let's continue the conversations on our social media pages. It's @Trends on SABC. See you next week and stay safe.